Hello and welcome to the Print Dashboard. The West Asia crisis has put a strain on India's energy demand, and the auto sector, including the public transportation, aren't untouched by it. To understand what kind of pressures India's auto sector is facing, we are once again joined by the Print's auto expert and contributing editor, Kushan Mitra. Welcome, Kushan.
Thank you, Anurag.
Once again, an external factor sort of deciding the fate of one of India's most important sector. India is the world's third largest car market. So, what's happening? What has happened so far in the last 3 weeks? We are already fourth week into the war.
Well, I don't know. The war is continuing right now. I don't know what Trump said yesterday, but um, of course, infrastructure in West Asia and all the Arab countries, in Iran, they've all been attacked. Refineries, fuel storage. We constantly hear stories about how tankers are being escorted through the Straits of Hormuz. The most visible impact has been on LPG, but as I wrote almost 10 days ago. I don't think LPG will be a problem because, well, as a petrol head, I kind of understand a little bit about how fractional distillation of crude oil works. And LPG production can be enhanced as the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has insisted. My main concern for the transportation sector in mobility or what transportation, whatever you call it, in India is actually supplies of natural gas. India has rapidly gasified its economy. Last year, one in five passenger vehicles sold ran on natural gas. And in the past week, Iran hit one of Qatar's largest natural gas processing plants. Natural gas is transported in these huge liquefied natural gas tankers. It is transported at minus 162 degrees, and that requires a process. Um, and Qatar has said almost 20% of its supply, a bit more, I
The
think,
Ras
has
Laffan
yes has
refinery.
been hit, and that will hit global gas supplies. Now, uh, gas is very important across the world, natural gas, because many economies use it. You use it for not just your pipe natural gas running your stoves at home, like I have in Delhi, but also for fertilizers. It has also hit the ceramics industry in Morbi, Gujarat, where you use
Right.
gas kilns. And you've heard in some places that they've stopped supplies to crematoriums
Right.
because crematoriums also have uh, gas using there. So we have cut supplies to industry. Many auto plants, for example, also have small captive natural gas plants like Maruti, Hyundai. They all have small natural gas plants to supply the electricity. Some of these industries, of course, have gone renewable over the last few years, so they have huge.
Right. Kushan, how should we should first look at what kind of impact is it's going to have on India's public transportation system network?
So LPG shortage already hit some cities like Kolkata and Chennai, where auto rickshaws run on auto LPG. But in Delhi, for example, many other cities,
And
auto.
that's something I don't think that's legal. Is that
No, no,
legal?
this is fine. It's absolutely
Okay.
because Chennai and Kolkata aren't really connected to the pipeline network for natural gas. It's absolutely legal. Auto LPG does have some demand. It's mainly in public transportation in cities that are not connected to the
Okay.
natural gas pipelines. These are not people who have done jugaad and
Right.
added. People used to do that back about 2 decades ago. But as CNGs come on stream everywhere in Delhi,
Right.
everybody's running on CNG. Uh, as I said, LPG is not so much of a crisis. But if you look around Delhi, Mumbai, most auto rickshaws, all Ubers in Delhi, all taxis in Delhi run on CNG for the large part. There have been no supply crisis right now. Keep in mind, India does produce about half, slightly more of its own natural gas from the Krishna Godavari basin and elsewhere.
Right.
Um, but if this crisis continues for much longer, I'm afraid, what I'm afraid of is that even transportation will be hit because I'm pretty sure the government will prioritize gas to households for
Right.
cooking because they made very clear that you should get a PNG connection instead of using LPG at home.
Right.
Um, so, what will happen to auto rickshaw in buses? Even in Delhi, for example, while many buses are electric now, older buses run on CNG. A lot of the transportation sector, the school buses and even cargo run on
Yeah, and you're right,
CNG.
Kushan. I mean, I think it's not just the big metros now where the CNG
Mhm.
is pervasive. It's I think it's CNG supply is now also going to tier two
Yeah,
towns.
yeah,
I was recently in Bihar, and I was not even in the state capital. I was in Gaya, and I saw a lot of CNG cabs available there.
yeah.
Even though the density of pumps is yet to go up, but it is sort of for a state like Bihar, to have that kind of CNG presence. It shows that it's now in over the past decade or so, it has sort of democratized and
It,
not just limited to the
it's going
metros.
to the east as well. Earlier, CNG was pretty much restricted to the west and then north as the pipeline density grew. Uh, you can now pretty much drive from Delhi to Mumbai on a CNG vehicle, being able to fill CNG everywhere. Uh, and the reason CNG is so popular is that CNG is much cheaper to run than either in petrol for certain. That's why 1 in 5 vehicles sold in cities like Delhi, that's almost half the vehicles are running on CNG.
Right. And Kushan, off late, in last maybe a couple of year or something like that, there has been a push from automakers uh, vis-a-vis CNG variants of
Yes.
vehicles. And earlier it used to be limited to the Marutis and Hyundais. Now I see more and more automakers coming up with CNG variants, and not just in probably in the base of basic models,
Yeah,
entry level models.
you have it now on most CSUVs as well. So vehicles such as the new Maruti Suzuki Victoris, they now have underfloor tanks. Tata Motors has launched a CNG version of the Nexon with again underfloor tanks and a turbo engine. Earlier, turbocharged engines were not available with CNG because of temperature concerns, but they have that as well right now. CNG is much cheaper to run. In fact, I was talking to a senior executive from Tata Motors who told me after the GST cuts late last year, CNG demand actually went up vis-a-vis electric demand because prices came down for CNG vehicles such as the Nexon or the Desire, which are very very popular. Um, People want CNG because you don't need to worry about charging a vehicle. And in cities like Delhi, NCR, for example, it's CNG pumps have. I'm sure you and I both remember when CNG was implemented. There used to be huge lines of auto
Absolutely.
rickshaws. Now there's not much of a line. Now you can pretty much get CNG in within 5 to 6 minutes.
Right. Right. And Kushan, that's on the demand side of the fuel. How like customers are sort of lining up for such variants of passenger cars. But there's also some real worry right now, because now we are you know inching a month into this
Yeah,
West Asia crisis of industry grade supply gas supply to the industry, automobile industry per se,
yeah.
for certain jobs that are required, that require the this kind of supply,
Mm.
apparently for welding, for forging, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So
Those are going to be a huge issue, right? I mean, we need gas. I mean, you need natural gas for example, natural gas is mainly methane, but you also get ethane, and that ethane you get from when you drill a natural gas well. That ethane is made into ethylene, and that is made into plastics as well. So and even natural gas, you must have heard, is also gets produces helium, and that helium is vital for the semiconductor industry. And the semiconductor industry will also be hit by the. You might not think of it. You might not think of natural gas and crude oil being required for lots of small things. So, but this will hit the industry in more ways than one. Already, you are seeing car makers across the board announcing 1 to 2% price hikes because of supply chain issues, because the rupee has also gone down. Obviously, it's going to impact prices across the board going forward. What I also foresee, and this has been my personal experience of the past few days when people call me up for car buying advice. They're saying, should we look at electrics? So because as I wrote, this could fundamentally reshape demand
Right,
because people are sort of worried about what will happen. There is, however, no problem with petrol and diesel supplies. Let's
right,
make that very clear. India produces excess petrol, excess diesel, and excess aviation turbine fuel, which we export. We import crude and export finished products. So we have more than enough petrol and diesel, and I suspect we'll also have more than enough LPG, but it's natural gas that really worries
are
me.
you saying maybe not now, but like this crisis is going to make people, customers, think hard on their choices,
Yes.
and it's going to sort of act as a
Um,
push towards clean
yeah,
vehicles?
I do think that see right now I guess you know better than me. This it's election season, and once only when I think petrol prices at the pump are under pressure. We are possibly underpricing petrol right now. I suspect there'll be a 5 to 10% hike after what the Prime Minister also said in Parliament yesterday, that we should, you know, hunker down.
Right,
So I suspect there'll be a significant petrol price hike within the by the end of April.
right,
Um, and how that will impact us, it remains to be seen.
right, and especially with Trump announcing yesterday of a 5-day pause on attacks on the energy infrastructure of Iran, we certainly the Indian automobile industry can hope to get a breather from here.
But I think petrol prices will stay high for a while because the infrastructure has already been hit.
Right,
And as Qatar quite clearly stated in their statement, that it will take them at least 2 years to rebuild the infrastructure.
absolutely.
So I don't see prices going down. I don't see uncertainty going down anytime soon. Um, so with prices going up, uncertainty going up, is it the best time to look at maybe hybrids and electrics? So,
Right,
and many manufacturers coming up with hybrids.
right,
The new Duster will have a hybrid. The new Seltos will have a hybrid by the end of the year. So, yeah.
right. Well, it's another evolving situation we have. Uh, that's all for now from us in the print dashboard. Thank you.